Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode. We are recording live from Studios B3. It's called that because I am Spencer Brinkerhoff III, and I love talking to all of these Star Wars artists, but I don't want to record and then edit and change. So we're just going to record it, and whatever happens, happens, and that's why we're calling it live. So as we have been in the last couple of times, we're focusing on the Star Wars Celebration Orlando 2017. We're interviewing the Star Wars artists who have been selected to be part of the art show and to create a brand new limited edition licensed piece of Star Wars artwork available at pre-order now, but only available exclusively for the Star Wars Celebration. Today we're talking to the old guy, the veteran, Randy Martinez. Oh, there you are. Oh, I flashed onto Joe's artwork for a second instead of your face. But It was just a split second. Nobody's going to see it. Randy, it's nice to have you talking today. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to see you, Spence.
I've got
This is the first time I've been called the old guy. That's kind of a compliment.
Okay. Let's see. How many Star Wars celebrations have there been?
There have been 8, 9, 10. Is it 11 now?
I think it is 11. And I believe that you first nearly ran over Steve Sansweet and knocked all of his stuff in the mud at Celebration 1, and that was the beginning of your stuff. So yeah, I didn't mean old as in, geriatric.
Well, I like your version of him in the mud. It didn't really happen, but I'm going to add that to the story.
Oh, you know what? It just gets better every year. It
is. Steve has accused me of that. He says the story changes. It gets better and better every time you say it. So I'll credit you on the mud part.
Nice. I've got the heads up video here where you and I are both on the screen at the same time, and I've zoomed in too far on your face. It's like I'm talking to Zordon, from the Power Rangers over here right now. So adjust that a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm going to switch over to another screen and show off your artwork. So here we are, Star Wars Celebration. And now, I think that you are the first artist that I've talked to who's actually put on their art piece, or maybe the only one, the 1977 to 2017. This is the 40th anniversary of the debut of A New Hope. So you want to tell me about your thought process in putting together a 40th anniversary piece instead of just another sort of Star Wars piece?
Yeah, that was when I decided to do Star Wars Celebration. I initially was like, yeah, you know what, it's in Orlando, I probably won't do it. But the more I thought about it, it's been I didn't do the last. I didn't do Europe, the last Europe, and I didn't do the last one in Orlando. So I just, let's go ahead and do it. Let's give it a shot. And so when I went to go do my print, learned it was the 40th anniversary. And I was thinking, well, do I just do A New Hope, or do I do celebrating 40 years of Star Wars? How do you say that? I mean, 40 years, So I kicked around some ideas, and I started coming to the idea of the bookends, because it's just, well, it's not impossible, but you have a lot of great artists out there doing a lot of montage work where they span the entire galaxy of Star Wars saga, and I wanted to do kind of my own thing.
And so, wait a second. You're saying doing the bookends, but what do you mean? You say New Hope, and then are you calling right now the TFA, the Force Awakens? That's the other movie that is out right now. So those are the two that sort of like cover the 40-year span. That's what you're saying, right? Right.
Yeah, for the most part, the saga, it's everything that has happened in the Star Wars saga, whether it's the movies or cartoons, happens between.
Right.
Well, actually happens between the Phantom Menace, but in terms of years, it all started in 1977, and then the last movie,
there it is.
The latest.
Gotcha. So I'm zoomed in on the art right now, and I'm taking a close look at it. And I think that at first glance, I didn't notice that you have behind Vader's head, that the Death Star and Starkiller Base are split in half. And so, and it comes right down the middle. Our main characters are, Luke and Kylo, and they're sort of like mirroring each other. And then Leia and Poe Dameron are our princesses for this, for our Dreamy Poe Dameron, is our princess. And then, but around the edges, let me go back to that really quick. Around the edges, you have all of these wonderful illustrations of these other characters, including, Obi-Wan from episode 3. I see Lando over there and Jinner. So we've got Ahsoka Tano in there. Tell me, when you sort of like started to put this piece together and you wanted to get all of these characters in there, was it tough to sort of like decide which characters, or was it tough to sort of like say, oh, I want
Yeah.
them all? What was the difficult piece in there? Yeah.
Well, of course you want to do them all, and but I
Right.
guess I was saying I'll leave that to people like Sanda, you know, Jason Palmer, who do an awesome job at doing all those characters in the same piece. I have a little bit of a design background, so I just wanted to do
Right.
a little bit something different with the design. So I couldn't put everybody, and since I couldn't put everybody, I'm like,
Oh,
well, pick a number. I'm like, well, duh, 40. So if you count all the
excellent.
characters, there's
Now,
exactly 40
how many of
characters
these
around the
how many
outside.
of these actors are going to be at Celebration so
So
we can get them all signed? Are all four?
quite a few of them, quite a few of them. And I
Yeah.
thought about that after I started doing that design, and it actually is. I started kind of marketing it, uh, and Denise has been helping with that.
Right. Right.
Is
That's
this is the
awesome.
ultimate
Now,
autograph
with that
poster?
sort of like the autograph
You know,
poster and
got
with the
everybody on
sort
it.
of the pre-sales and stuff that are happening right now, are you going to be inside the art show? With all of the like the Acme Run part? Are you going to jump outside and have a booth? Where can people find you when they get to the show? Okay,
You can find
right.
me in the Artist Alley Pavilion or the Art Pavilion that Acme's putting on. And we're bringing a
Excellent.
lot of
Well,
stuff.
and with that
So
with
it's
that
gonna
lot of
feel like
stuff,
a
I
booth.
mean, you have a lot of stuff that you've worked on. Now, you also mentioned that you had taken a couple of years off from going to the celebration, and I think that maybe you had done Orlando, and you did all of the key art. Every with Welcome to. What was the Orlando one with Lando on there? That one got turned into a meme. What was the actual title?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Welcome to
Yeah,
Orlando,
yeah, double
and
guns.
it's the one where he's going like, with the fingers. And the I the idea got better. Let's just put it that way. As we started working on it, they wanted to do something with the Orlando, so we
Yeah,
worked on it. Like, how do we make it just not completely corny? And I was just,
right, right.
you just have to go all the way corny, And so that's why he's just hamming it up, and everything, So if you
Nice.
just put Lando on
Well,
there, you
he
just
was
put
he was
Orlando,
owning
it's
it,
like,
right?
okay, that's
Now
fine.
I
But
I'd forgotten about
you
this, but
own
I
it,
got this
go with it.
wild hair, right? And
Oh
I
yeah.
actually reached out to Orlando Bloom's publicist. And and I made a picture of Orlando Bloom in the Lando
I
pose, and
remember
I
that.
said Orlando, and but he was busy. I'm sure that they were just being nice and told me he was busy, but he couldn't make it. So right. But
Yeah.
so
They're like,
what
they
happened
cast
there
him in
is
the
that you
movie,
did
maybe
the
he'll
key
show.
art for that show, but then you took a break from going to the shows and you started doing gallery shows. So I mean, when people think about Star Wars artists and they think about, the
Yeah.
art that's done for lunch boxes and t-shirts and cards and all of these things that you've worked on, I don't think that a lot of people will pause and think about the fine art aspect of, this being Star Wars art. So tell me a little bit about what you were doing with, like making that foray into the gallery world instead of just being sort of like a Comic-Con guy. How did that happen? What was your take on it? Did you enjoy that? Was it a different world?
Well, you know what? I went to art school as a painter. I went in the painting department. I mean, I grew up an illustrator with my dad, and but I got turned on to fine art.
Right. Yeah. Right.
work started coming out, and I started piling up all this artwork, and I started going to some of the galleries. I'm like, I got to do this. This is like an itch that I have to scratch. And so I started painting a lot, and now I do both all
Right.
the time.
And for those people who may not be as familiar with Randy's work, he also does some really humorous caricature work, and he can really sort of push that. Do you do any like live caricatures in the work that you do, or is it do you? I mean, live drawing can be a little bit of a pressure, so I didn't know if you did
Oh
that
yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah, I was doing that from the time I was about 14 professionally. That's why
Really?
my dad did that professionally. He worked for Disney and did all the caricatures in the parks back in the 70s, and he trained all of those people. So a lot of that people that go to Disney, they still see the portrait painters or
Right.
with pastels. He trained all those people back in the 70s. So
Awesome.
that's kind of his legacy. So the live drawing and live art, he taught me at a very young age, and I would go do all the shows with him that he would do, and it was a lot of fun. And it is some pressure, but I mean, was just kind of born into it, so
Yeah.
it seemed normal to me. So, but as I started doing more artwork and a little bit more detailed, I started getting slower at it because
Wait.
you
What
know,
do
the
you mean you
big
got slower? You got slower at doing the artwork, or you got more
doing the
patient,
live
or?
drawing.
Oh,
So like
gotcha.
when I was at the top of my game,
Right.
doing characters of people, and I worked at Magic Mountain theme park doing that when I was 16,
Right.
and I was doing that. I was getting them down to about 2 minutes. I mean, that's
Really.
the face, the body, the
Right.
joke that's in there, just really
Flexing,
fast.
flexing and stuff like that. You
All
know,
that stuff. So, and you got to know how to do all of that, like in
right,
the back of
right.
your head. So, if somebody comes to you and says, "I want to do hang gliding," you got to know what a hang glider looks like.
Right.
So there's a lot of useless information up here for that reason. So, anyways, 2 minutes is really good. Average is usually about 4 for somebody who's pretty good. But as I started doing more painting, I started taking my time. I started actually taking my time drawing people, and that's not good for that business. So you go from
Right.
doing 2 minutes to about 10 minutes. So you figure of the people that
You're
are there,
losing
let's say
money, man. You're losing money when you.
exactly, they don't hire you back because instead of doing I'm saying 2 minutes. So I went to art school, so I don't know math, but basically in an hour, I would get how many? I get 30 people in an hour,
Right, right,
right?
right,
So I
right.
go from getting 30 down to getting about 15 people,
Yep.
and that's not good, So especially when my dad's over there doing 2 minutes each, and my dad was an incredible caricaturist. I mean,
Awesome.
it's a unsung hero of a job and talent. It's because it's usually just kind of a party thing,
Well,
but
but
he was
but
the best there was.
But with that party element there too, the other thing about this is that there are a lot of people that don't sort of like recognize what it is to sort of like be that showman as well. So
Oh,
we're meeting people, we're greeting people, we're talking to them. I mean, even when we were in Japan, we did our, we started out and we said, hey, we need to know a couple of phrases. Now, I'm very fortunate to speak Japanese, but we were able to like make sure that everybody could say konnichiwa and just sort of like greet people and say dozo, check everything out, so that we're working with that showmanship side as well. Now, in that,
you're the best, man. You're the
what?
best at that. And like you said, I'm old. I've been doing this for a while. I mean, you've always been like the best showman and getting people and talking to people, and I learned from you on
Oh,
that.
thank you.
By the way, you'd make a great caricaturist because of that.
Because I can tease people and just like, well, for me, just being involved in this world, it's joyful, and with that joy, I want to share that, so it's super exciting to be able to be where we are and be able to do what we're doing, and it's like, okay, how can I not like love every bit of this?
Yeah.
But it's not about me. We're talking about showmanship. We're talking about artwork. But in addition to, this showmanship side, I believe that you went to like was it Star Wars Generations was the show in Germany, and you were like on the main stage, like singing with a guitar and everything too?
Yeah, it was actually JediCon in
JediCon. Okay.
Germany, and Denise Vasquez and I were the featured artists with the art and with music. So they had both Denise and I up there in front of. By the way, she's back over there. You can't see her on camera, but she's back there doing her thing. But how many people were there in the audience, you think? There was like a couple thousand people there.
Oh man. Un- Unfazed though,
In the
right? You
audience,
didn't have a
and
problem with that at
that was
all,
my
right?
first time in front of a bunch of people.
Oh yeah.
Well, lucky for me, the spotlights are right in your eyes, so you can't see anything. Denise has played in front of people
Right.
and performed. She's an old pro performer with everything, so she's used to that. So, but for me, it was pretty wild. Stage with her, and sharing the whole experience with her, and then singing for the audience, and I love that kind of thing.
That's awesome. Now, in addition to sort of like being there in the art show with the artwork, so you've done a lot of different pieces with Acme. And so are you going to have some other artwork there in addition to your celebration piece? Because you said you've got enough stuff to be a booth. Is there anything like brand new that you're just working on? Some past celebration piece? What can people expect to see, at the booth there as well? And is the guitar there?
Oh, guitar's not going to make it this time.
Okay.
Yeah, but if somebody has one, I'd be happy to play it.
Nice.
But yeah, of course, the print is going to be there. We have lots of original artwork. A lot of people don't know that. I've been doing this since 1999, and so that's been a lot of work for Topps, for Star Wars Insider, for Acme, like you said, just all kinds of people, Scholastic Books. So I
Right.
have a lot of original art and concept sketches that I just have in books.
Okay.
I've just been collecting. So I'm bringing all that stuff.
Right, and that brings up another question for me. So, in the past, when I was part of the art show, the contract said that Lucasfilm wants the first right of refusal to buy the original artwork. Now, you don't have to say whether or not that's sold or not, but one of the questions I was thinking about is, I believe that when I saw it online, so it must be true. When you were putting together your celebration piece, that all of the characters that are around the edges of that in that border, those are full drawings that you then cropped and assembled into it. So is that some of the originals that you're going to have available there? Are those pieces available for as an original, or what that's my question.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They'd be considered a line art spot illustration.
Right.
They're all black and white. As you can see around the edges, it's just monotone, just black line with a blue, but these are black and white. And I did them all by hand and then built it inside the computer. And so they're going to be all available for everybody to buy. And
so
I can show you a little bit of that.
Oh yeah, let me switch over to you. I was zooming in on your image. So I'm going to say this too while you're getting that open. In addition to owning one of the art prints, are those all individual or are they on one page like that?
Well, I did it like this to have up to 4 on each page.
Okay. So that means that in addition, I was going to say, in addition to being able to get this celebration exclusive, you can also own a piece of the original artwork, but this is only going to be 10 people who are able to own this original piece, because 4 on a page, that's your 40 characters, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The original. Oh yeah, that's right. So I always forget about that because it's too big to fit in this book. So not only do I have, which I think is really cool, by the way, that there's 4 up on a page.
Right.
Instead of just 1. So you get 4. I think it's cool. But the middle part section of my print, where you see Vader and all the main cast in color, I actually did that in line first. I did that with brush and ink and pens with ink, and I will have that original line art piece. So
excellent.
I put that in the computer, and then I digitally colored it from there and rendered it.
Okay.
But the original piece that I started at, that will be at Celebration as well.
So limited edition of 250 pieces. And what size is this final artwork going to be? And what's the price on it too?
It's 16 by 20.
Okay.
And the price is $75. Now this is a artist G-clay print. And let me explain really quick what that means.
Yeah.
You have a lot of different types of printing process. Most popular has usually been lithography, which is all right. It's pretty good. great quality, and they usually put it on poster paper.
Right.
There's also serigraphs, which is screen printing and yada yada yada. Now, what Giclée is the highest definition and just the highest quality print that is available. And not only illustrators, but fine artists, the biggest name fine artists, use nothing but Giclée printing process.
Right.
And these are on fine art paper. It's a really, really fine archival paper. The printing ink and the paper itself are guaranteed to last, to get this, 100 years.
Oh,
now,
man.
We won't be around to see if that's actually true.
I don't know. Clean living, man. No, I'm not going to be around.
You might be. But still, I mean, that's pretty good. 100
That
years.
is.
And also means that the clarity, the vibrance, I mean, this print
right.
is so vibrant. I can't even tell you. I mean, you see it online and everything, and it looks good. Wait till you see the real thing. The colors just pop off. It looks like it's glowing with light.
Right. And that is the Giclée printing process. I mean, the paper ends up being a little bit thicker, and the ink gets soaked into that, but it really lays in there. And Giclée, I believe, is a French word, so you know it's good art, just because, just for that.
Yeah, right.
Now, with that, one of the other things that I often think about is, as you're putting the art together, this is what you said, 16 by 20. Is that right for 75?
16 by 20, yes.
So then, is this art? Does it need to be like bagged and boarded, or can you roll this up? How you're going to spend good money to get this fantastic print, and you want to make sure it gets home safe as it can. So is the cardstock so thick that you shouldn't roll it, or is it still able to be tubed like in a 2-inch or a 4-inch tube or something?
Just make sure you have like an art tube.
Okay.
Don't get one of this goes for any prints. It doesn't matter if it's Giclée or not. Don't go get one of those cheap, real skinny mail tubes, okay?
Right.
Because you're going to wreck any type of print in that.
Right.
Okay, so you want to get a rigid art tube with plastic as thick as you possibly can. The girth of it.
Uh-huh.
And it's okay. It's fine to roll it. You don't want to leave it in there forever, but just by the time you get home, that's fine. Unroll it and then just lay it flat on a table, or put a big piece of paper and some books on it. It'll flatten out. That's fine.
Well, and it's really important to sort of like talk about that as well, because this is what everyone should be doing. They should be going online right now and going to the Acme's website, which is Dark Ink Art, and pre-order the print now. The art show can get really sort of like filled up with all these fantastic artists because they're all limited edition. So if you order it now, then you don't have to brave the lines later. You've paid for it, you're good to go. But also come prepared to get the print into a good sized tube, 4-inch tube, so that you can get it home and it's nice and safe, because you're spending good money. You want to make sure it's protected, and that's the way to go. And that way you get it done now. You don't have to worry about it later. I think the art show goes quickly. It's good to be there.
The other thing too is that my prints have done pretty well in the past. This one's doing really well.
Right.
I saw the numbers recently, and the thing about pre-sale is that this is a way to guarantee that you get one.
Yes.
Because if things start selling really well and you wait for the show, you might not get one.
Well, and I believe that in the past they've had this as well, is that they've put a cap on the pre-sale numbers, so that you can. They have a certain amount that they're available pre-sale, but there are going to be some that are available to show guaranteed. But it's just so much easier to get the print now, so that you don't have to worry about whether or not you're not going to get it, when you're at the show.
So I mean, if that is true, Spencer's telling the truth here.
Don't lie, right?
We have to have a certain amount at the show.
Right.
Okay, but the thing is, I mean, if you sell out on your pre-sale, there's a really good chance that come Thursday morning, that's the first day, right?
Yeah.
Thursday morning, there might be a big line, and those for your remaining prints, and they might go really fast. So rather than have to wake up at the crack of dawn,
and get in line for
directly to the line there, you can have it on. You already paid for it. You can go enjoy the show. Come at your leisure. And
Well,
relax.
and that's the other thing, is that there's so many things that are going on at the Star Wars Celebration and other things that you may want to be in line for. You can pre-buy the artwork and get that taken care of, and it's not even included in your sort of like cash at the show budget. And there's some photo ops that you can take care of. But if you get stuck in line and you forget to sort of like get back and buy something else, you're going to miss out on an exclusive opportunity. So that's important.
And that goes for everything that I'm going to have at the show on the table.
Okay.
You know this, but a lot of people don't that are fans here. Denise Vasquez, my girlfriend, is a promotion whiz. Everything that she knows.
Yes.
Yes. I am going
Blitz.
To not only the print, but everything that I'm going to be having at the table, and some other fun things I'm going to be doing along the way. So,
okay.
Anything that you see, any of the fans see that I'm promoting as far as art that'll have at the table, if you like it and you want to buy it now,
right?
Hey, buy it now. It's fine. If you want, same thing with the prints, you can buy it now, pick it up at the show, or even if you're not going to go to the show, you can buy it, and I'll send you the original. All you got to do is follow me on any of my social media and message me if you like the art. We'll make a deal.
So I've got your picture up now. I have at Randy Martinez 40. That's your Twitter account?
That is, but there's a better one.
Oh no, that's the one I put on the screen.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But if those who are listening, we made a team for me.
A team?
So, because I can't do all of this on my own, and they're really doing a great job.
Team Jacob or Team Edward?
Sort of as Team Randy.
Oh, okay.
So this is just Team.
That was a
Star
Twilight
Wars
reference.
Team Star Wars Randy's doing a great job.
Okay.
At covering what I've been doing so far. They love to retweet everything that I tweet, and when it comes to celebration, when we're there, that's going to be the main source of communication, because I'm going to be really busy. I'm not going to be able to tweet and do all this stuff. So at Star Wars Randy is what everybody really should be following and going through to celebration. And then also it basically just focuses on I hate saying third person, but Randy Martinez.
Right.
And celebration. So you don't have to read any of my other stuff about the Foo Fighters or anything like that. That I'm always posting about Prince or whatever. It just focuses on Star Wars Celebration and Randy Martinez. So I want to give a big shout out to Team Randy.
Yeah.
Doing a great job. Thank you guys. So
excellent. Thank you. And again, this is Star Wars. Wait, what's the title again? Star Wars 40th anniversary?
Oh, the piece?
Yeah, Star Wars 40th anniversary,
yeah.
1977 to 2017, 16 by 20 for $75 by Randy Martinez. Limited edition to 250 prints, available online now for pre-order and pickup at the Star Wars Celebration, and available in person. I've seen it online. You've been signing these things, getting ready to go. Randy, thank you so much for chatting with us today about all of your wonderful artwork. We love being able to know a little bit more behind the scenes of what you've got going on.
Thanks, Spencer. I'm glad to be here. And thank you for having me on and giving me an opportunity to talk about the artwork.
You betcha.
But we're going to do another show where we talk behind the scenes about you.
Oh, really? I don't know. Is anybody interested in that stuff? I'm kind of,
adventures in Japan, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's where we met, everyone. Is 2008. I kind of made it into the Star Wars Celebration for the first time. I showed up and I went, "Hi guys, I don't know anybody." And Randy and Denise took me under their wing and showed me where to go and how to get there. And it was a wonderful, wonderful event.
Well, thanks. But you're sitting right across from us, so we really had no choice.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. And I speak Japanese, so I had the upper hand the whole time.
Very handy. Actually, you know what? There was one thing I still, because I don't remember any of the Japanese that I learned while I was there, but I believe it was, well, konnichiwa and arigato.
Right.
I know, but what I learned there, I'm saying, I think it was ichi.
Uh-huh.
Was it just one, or it's
just
one?
Just one.
Because people were coming, because I couldn't speak Japanese, and anything that was on my table that was like a giveaway, like a postcard or something, people were taking like 10, 20 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I get these people to stop? And
Ichidake. Dame da yo.
Actually, I couldn't remember all that. Well, what I say, and Spencer's like, just say ichi.
Yeah.
Ichi.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you a little story that I don't know that I've told in a long time. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what was going on. And afterwards, we all went out to dinner. And we're sitting there at this big restaurant. We just sort of like took over. Denise is remembering this. And in walks Anthony Daniels. This is my first Star Wars convention. I'm freaking out that C-3PO just walked in, and he's like, oh, hello, hello. And Denise jumps up and says, why don't you come sit with us? And he grabs like some warm sake that somebody had ordered, and he starts like serving everyone. And I'm trying to like record this thing, but it didn't work. But he said, I'm like, wow. I said, you're just going to work and serve everyone now? And he says, I guess it's my lot in life. And I was like, oh, gosh, he's always in character. He quotes himself. So that was my first Star Wars exciting adventure. Thank you, Randy and Denise, for being there and part of that.
Yeah, we had some amazing dinners there.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time. We're at our 30-minute mark. We're going to try and keep these short so that we can get lots of people interviewed. Really, Randy, I love the artwork. Thank you so much for the work that you've done in Star Wars, and thank you for taking the time with chat with us today. Follow Randy, and that new one is at Star Wars Randy. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, at Star Wars Randy, we'll have all of the information about his celebration adventures, and Denise is making sure he stays in line, right?
Always.
All right. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye, Randy.
Bye, everybody.